Hey, bike farmers, thanks for clicking in. You know, with just about every bike project I come across, there's rideable and there's right. This bike was kind of abandoned back in the day. I think Trevor worked on it maybe this spring when he first showed up, and we ran into a snag. I think this bottom bracket might be frozen in here, and we set it aside, and I've been tripping over the thing for months, and I think today's the day that we try to get that bottom bracket out. Regardless, I think this bike is totally going to be rideable, but it doesn't make any sense to make it right. I thought I was gonna recondition this bike. It's just not worth it. You know, abandoning a bike halfway through and leaving it aside and forgetting what's going on with it can have its own problems. I don't know exactly what's all been done, but we're about to find out. So hopefully this doesn't turn into a struggle bus situation. I'm expecting it to kind of go easily. Famous last words. Let's see if we can get this bottom bracket out. I don't know. You kick back and relax. I'm gonna take the risk. You regular viewers are noticing everything's a little different. I have rearranged the shop and flipped everything. I got some new carpet. I cleaned up that back wall. Part of it is to get the thumbnails easier to take, to reduce the clutter in the background, all this stuff, but I kind of like the clutter, so I kept it. Kind of makes me feel like it was all for nothing, because it was pretty good the way it was before, but it's a little bit cleaner. I think the lighting's better. I gotta do something about the echo. It's very echoey back here. It's a work in progress, as is everything in life. It's also quite a bit easier for me to move the stand into the middle of the workspace here and get better angles on things, and the lighting's good. I was up against the wall, kind of crammed into a corner before, so a little more room to breathe. All right, I can see it's problematic over on this side for sure. So, well, it looks like I can get some purchase on there, maybe. Looks like a lot of it was broken off or beaten off. It says specialized sealed, and you can see how rusty it is. And it feels crusty. Yeah, I think somebody tried to take this off and then broke, and it's plastic. I'm gonna try to just like impact drive it off the backside. See if we can get it out that way. Okay, so this is my little impact driver. I'm gonna try it here. Nope. I didn't think that we'd get that lucky. This tool here will hold this tool on. Now typically, you know, you remove the other side first because it's kind of like a lock nut. It really compresses everything together, so it will give you more of a fighting chance. I'm gonna try to just like get a wrench on this and beat it loose. All right, we're gonna get the BFW on there. Just kind of double check that things are tight. I got BFH. 1, 2, 3. Oh, dropped a wrench. That ain't moving. All right, we're gonna need to apply heat. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of rust in there. stuck in there. I'm not gonna lie. I either forgot or didn't really know about this bottom bracket until I started doing my intro. And I restarted the intro because I was like, oh, this is changing the trajectory of my life. Okay, that's the wrong ferrule. Yeah, this is, I think, one of Trevor's first nasty projects that I gave him. And it requires some next level stuff. That's probably pretty unfair of me. Sorry, dude, if you're watching. It's kind of a trial by fire when you're dealing with me, to be honest. Try to give people a heads up about that, but what are you gonna do? All right, we're gonna take this chain off. Somehow I didn't lose the quick link. Okay. Well, here we are up in the Wilton. Got this bullet vise for like 50 bucks one day on Marketplace. I'm gonna take some Aeroc oil here. It's the oil that creeps, and we have access through here, and maybe up in her. Okay. Now, a man more patient than I would just let that sit for a week and then come back to it. Man, this bench is a mess. Clean that in a couple months. Okay, so I got that tool in there. Now if I turn, do I have this going the right way? Let's see here. I wanna turn that way. So the resistance, okay, I do have it going the right way. And so what happens if I make sure that's really tight? Hopefully my vise is in there tight. Then you have tons of leverage grabbing the frame. Oh yeah. Haha. Winning. I'm a winner. Yeah, I have this bench bolted to the floor just for this purpose. Ha. Nice. Love the smell of Croil in the morning. Steamy. It's a hot son bitch. I think this is plastic. Yeah, sometimes you just have to chisel them out. Let's see how this goes. Yay! Clean as a whistle. Well, I burnt the paint. It doesn't really matter on this bike. And I could chase those threads and make them really good. But it doesn't really matter on this bike. So we'll just do that and pretend like nothing ever happened. So this is a mountain bike, and it's predictably a 73 millimeter bottom bracket shell. And I can tell by eyeballing it that this is a very short spindle. It's also very warm. Yeah, it's like a 113. If you remember from the Voodoo, that was also a 73 millimeter shell and a 113 millimeter spindle. This is the Shimano UN51 I pulled off the Voodoo. Loud noises. It is so incredibly loud. Let's see if this has enough power to cross thread. Oh, my ears. I need hearing protection for that. I'm not joking. That is really loud. I need to soften this wall. I should hang some carpet up or something. That's what I should be doing. Carpet my walls. All right. Pardon my reach. I thought I was kidding about that cross thread. I am. Going in good. Fixed. You know, there was a time back in the day working at Budget Bicycle Center where that would have taken me all afternoon. I'd have been wrestling and fighting, and I've gotten pretty good at it over the years. Most of the time, it's really not worth doing it. You know, like this bike kind of sucks, but it's good content. And honestly, that bottom bracket didn't feel too bad. So the bike totally could have been rideable. But that's not good content. Put a little tri-flow in that bolt head. And then you can kind of forget that it's rusty too. Governor Cherry Brown. I came up with that on my own the other day, listening to some Dead Kennedys, California Uber Alice, and I was like, Cherry Brown? Oh, it is a brown chair. That's kind of funny. Not as funny as Woody Charleston, but pretty good. Pretty good. All right, come on now. Yeah, I listened to Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables in its entirety the other day and was like, man, 1980, right? I'm pretty sure Holiday in Cambodia is the perfect song to define the difference between the 70s and the 80s, like culturally. It's just like before that song and after that song. Get your cable guide back in. Woody Charleston, everybody. Okay, so we're doing rideable. This wheel kind of is rideable, so we're gonna use it. I know I said I'd found this wheel. Well, maybe we just do that. It's so much easier. So much less messing around. It's a little nerve-wracking. It's really good content when they blow off the rim. We know this for a fact. But I don't like it. So I fill it halfway and then look to see where it's not seating itself. Sometimes it takes a couple tries. Oh, drop some. Yeah, the new digs will take some getting used to. Everything's kind of flipped. You know, I moved everything from over there, over here. So the camera angles are all different. You guys like change, don't you? I like to mix it up. I think we just need to let the pressure build and allow the natural state of things seat this tire. It did it. It did it all on its own. All right, we'll have to check that in the truthing stand. All right, you roll over there. There's no spoke protector here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Or we got 2 parallel spokes here and a crossing one here. So 1, 2, 3. 3-prong, 36 spoke. I like those because I got the really big ones. They're just obnoxiously dorky. Probably gonna end up either giving this bike away for free or selling it super cheap to somebody who just needs like good, durable, cheap transportation. And once I get rid of this bike, I never want to see it again. So putting a spoke protector on just increases that. It's like an insurance policy, so I don't have to be annoyed. I don't mind helping people. The problem is that, especially with the bikes, like they just keep coming back and back and back, you know? It's the service component to giving away bikes that gets to be problematic. There's only so much we can do to make them, you know, super durable so they never break. But it gets expensive, you know, time is money. Okay, and this is a brand new tire on this bike, which is a little overkill. Free bikes don't need new tires, and I think this is actually a new wheel, but it is what it is. Yeah, see, this is a 7-speed freewheel. It's an 8-speed bike, so it means it's got an 8-speed shifter. Now I could use this wheel, because this is like brand new. This is better off on a better bike. We're gonna use this wheel and just have a ghost shift. Let's go through that exercise. Okay, so that one's ready to go for another project someday. This has been sitting there and has a nice Mega Drive low gear on it, and we should be able to work with that with the drivetrain, hopefully. And it's already got the tire all mounted and everything. Let's just true it up, find a skewer for it. Don't you know, hey? There's rideable and there's right. We're going rideable here, folks. We're gonna, at every chance, not do the right thing. Cutting corners, taking the easy way out. Okay, truthing stand from my better side. Oh, we gotta come this way, don't we? How's the light? It's pretty terrible, isn't it? Is that better? Is that too light? Too dark? That's good. That's good, better. Okay, look at that. Okay, we got that figured out, maybe. I like it. There, I got my play button. Huh? New truthing stand angle? Love that pipe. Yeah, it's good bowling arm. We could talk about bowling. Okay. Merch. So one of the reasons why I reorged everything here is so I can set up a merch shipping system station. Man, that's really bright on my forehead. So very soon, merch will be up. I know I've been saying that for a long time. So that's exciting. In the description, I have always had affiliate links with Amazon. But did you know that you can shop Amazon through the Bike Farmer store? And there's a link in the description for this. And I get a little bit. You don't pay more. It's the same price. It's the same experience for you. Nothing different, but I get a cut. I get like a few percent. So I definitely have some products in there that you're interested in, you know, tools and such. And that's kind of always changing. And some of the links are dead, actually. I got to go through and audit that situation. But I learned that I can put a link and like you can shop for diapers and cat litter and spatulas. And I can get a cut for that stuff too, if you shop through my link. So go check that out because that could add up. That's a win-win and a good way for you to support your favorite sponsor instead of super thanks and joining and all the other stuff that I beg for. This wheel is like super true. This wheel is very quiet. This wheel is just exactly perfect. Okay, so bowling season started and golf season is winding down. I'm a man of leisure. We know this. You know, I ride bikes, I bowl, I golf. And last season, I had a 206 average going into December-ish, Thanksgiving-ish. I actually won the turkey for Thanksgiving in the league. I was really doing well, and I don't know what happened in my life, but everything changed on the bowling lanes, and I did my very best to maintain a 200 average, and I finished at 198. And I was very disappointed in myself because it was just like a downward spiral. I just didn't have a single, maybe one or two good series for the rest of the season. I just lost it. Lost my ability to bowl well. Then this season started and I'm like, well, you know, I played a lot of good golf and maybe things are different. And I came out and in my first 9 games to establish the average for this season, my average is 172. 2 weeks ago, I had a night where I don't think I broke 160. It was embarrassing. I felt awful. I wanted to die. You know, so like when I do my intake form at the doctor now, I have to be like, yeah, I actually thought about wanting to die because of bowling. But as I do, when things get bad, I ask for help. There's a guy that I golf with who's a very accomplished bowler. He's an older gentleman, nice guy, and I saw him on the driving range and I was like, hey, you know, you probably know a thing or two about bowling and so on and so forth. Can you give me a little lesson? He said, sure. So we went over and I humbled myself in front of him and he gave me some pointers and they certainly helped. But then he's like, you need new equipment because my equipment was like 18 years old. So this goes into, oh, I dropped my wrench. Like all you guys that are like still riding those old steel road bikes and think they're awesome. I mean, they are, but like new equipment matters. You're going to have a better ride if you go and get like that Trek Domani. You really will. Unless you're like me and can like really build like a super bike made of steel yourself or, you know, have one custom built, it makes a difference. Well, bowling's no different. And I got sent to this guy who has dedicated his whole life. He built a shed with bowling lanes and opened his own pro shop on his own, totally independent, out in the country, the middle of nowhere. He's the guru of the area. And he's been drilling bowling balls for 45 years. He's basically the Bike Farmer of bowling. He just knows his shit. and drilled me for a new ball. We made some real subtle changes. And last night I went out, I rolled a 642 series. My last game was a 246. And I'm back, baby. I'm back. And look at that. It's amazing. I'm gonna have a good winter. I had a really good summer. Now I'm gonna have a really good winter. It was poetry in motion. I'm telling you, I'm on my way to becoming Wisconsin's first bowler laureate. Made that up last night. We gotta do something about this light. And I think I have to switch these two. I am sweating. All right, get the wheels put back on here. All right, get the rear cable, headed back home, and the front cable. Come around the bend that way there, hey. All right, I was wondering where my back loop hunk of housing went. Then I deduced my favorite form of logical reasoning, deduction. I was like, well, I had the whole frame and everything. You know, I took the chain off, and wheels, but then I had it up in the Wilton and really put it through the test. I betcha I jiggled it loose. Boy howdy, did I find it. Tell you what. Man, I think the lighting with my new setup is so much better. Just seems like fewer shadows and glares. Are you seeing that too? Drop a comment, you know. Ooh, oh. This isn't going well. Even with my new Knipex needle nose. There we go. Probably should have checked to make sure my shifters were relaxed. Little button. Pull the slack out. There we go, buddy. Second verse, different from the first. I think that's from Judy Was a Punk Rocker, the Ramones. Go listen to that song and that second verse, different than the first, and listen for the hand claps. It's amazing. The Ramones are a band that I definitely didn't get when I first heard them. And the older I get, the more I appreciate what those guys did. They rehearsed an insane amount. It was crazy. It was done with precision and skill. All right, so we're gonna make a ghost shift. Okay, so here we're in 7th gear. Well, 1st gear, but there's only 7. And if we shift one more, it overshifts into the dork disc, right? See how that, okay. So we find our low limit screw, which is this one. We're just gonna screw it all the way until we feel the derailleur moving. There. Right there. All right, high gear. 1, 2, hey, her, he, sa, sa, sa. So there's the ghost shift, right? We're in gear, 1 click, nothing happens. Huh, who, he, ha, oh, hot dog. So, that didn't work. Shift deliberately, that's what I tell my customers. You put it in and wait for it to shift. Got a little tink there. We're gonna use the barrel adjuster on the shift lever to increase the tension just a smidge. Huh. I think we need a longer bottom bracket. That sucks to have to go back. Okay, we got mega range problems and low shifty problems, which we're not gonna mess with too much. Harumph. So here's what I'm seeing. You hear that tinky tink? You see all the chains flippity flappity? So what's happening is on the other side of this chain ring, where all these little rivet guys are, is a little doohickey on the other side that actually helps the shifting. It's like a shift ramp that just with a slight bit of pressure, you can see it's grabbing the chain and shifting it up. All right. So when we are in high gear, little cog, back here in the little cog, the chain is on the most outbound part of the bike. So that means that the chain is this way, the farthest that it will ever be. And this chain ring needs to come out like a millimeter. So I put in 113 millimeter bottom bracket. If we had a longer spindle, it'd be 115. It would bring it out a little bit more, right? Then it wouldn't go tink, tink, tink. But like, that's really good. That's pretty good. You know, it's not shifting it. It's not throwing the chain. It's just making a little noise. And if you go into second gear or that gear, it stops. And we're making this rideable. Not right. If I was gonna sell this bike, you know, if I wasn't gonna give it away free for nothing, I would certainly put in a different bottom bracket. It's just in that one gear. It's a little slow to shift down too. All that would help with a slightly longer bottom bracket. Otherwise it's great. What's going on there? I think that side's good. I'm gonna just make sure that this wheel is in straight. Looks like it's a little off dish, but not enough to really cause a ton of problems. Brake is not exactly, oh shit. It's a nice red cable end, that's the word. We're gonna loosen the cable a little here and see if we can get some actuation. You didn't see any of that, did you? No, you didn't see it at all. Pull you over. Well, that is certainly good enough for who it's for. You know, that's gonna stop just about anybody. I don't know. I mean, we could go through and like dish the wheel and then make some changes and improve that situation, but I don't think it's worth it. We're gonna increase the tension on these brakes quite a bit more. And I'm doing that because if this is a free bike, the type of people that end up getting free bikes, park them outside. And if you have more tension in the brakes, then if they're parked outside and you get a little corrosion in the cables, and housing, the brakes will still work. Oh, I dropped my save. Just tighten her a bit here. Tight. What's going on with this one now? Again, we'll just double check to make sure the wheel's in straight. No sense aligning a brake to a crooked wheel. That's what my grandmother used to always say. Singing from the bathroom. Straighten out your wheels before you adjust the brakes. Straighten out your wheels. Yeah, this bike really has a lot of weird little quirks to it. Quirks and kinks, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to relieve some spring tension on this side, but I cannot. And then I could try to add some on this side, but I cannot. But if I take this and bend it out, that sometimes helps. Oh, it's two different brakes. That's what's going on. They're just going to be different. But we can still get them working. Look at that. Okay, that took a while, but that's just fine. Good enough. We're good. All right, then let's revisit this situation here. So this chain is in little and that long, which is about as long as you want it. It's right there, you know. However, when you go to shift up into big, and then you get there, you run out of ability. We need to add a link, because that would be catastrophic failure for most riders. Rob this link right here. This is total cheating. Okay, you push the pin through, but not all the way. Now, I learned not to do this with 9-speed and 10-speed chains, but I'm told it's okay to do with these 8-speed chains. It's actually 5, 6, 7, and 8-speed chains. I used the same size chain up until 9-speed came along and had to be all different. 9-speed's great, 10-speed sucks, 11-speed's great. That's my general feeling of things. And not all 10-speed, but Shimano 10-speed kind of sucks. Okay, and then getting the pin in there with a little bit of play. That's why I like this old chain tool, is because this is rigid back here and you can push the pin through just like a hair and get that link moving pretty freely. Okay, so we added one link. There we go. So you don't really ever want to be in that gear, but you can do it now without ripping the derailleur off the bike. Oh, that's no goo. Why are you sticking? Was that my link? Did I put the wrong size link on there? It didn't have any markings on it. I thought it was 8 speed. Yeah, see, so when you're in little and little, it's rubbing down here, which isn't ideal, but it's better than the alternative. While we're accessing all the gears, it's a little sluggish, it's a little noisy. I know that changing the bottom bracket would solve some problems, but I just don't think that the problems are big enough to need solving. All right. Well, that's super weird because it was backwards, where the adjustable cup is on this side, and I don't know. It still doesn't feel like it's right. Okay, so now, because I moved everything out, we have to make adjustments. So, we're doing our low adjustment here. I've got it in the low gear and back, so that's big cog energy right now. Okay, and then because I did that, the cable's loose. I hope I didn't just screw myself here. Back the high off a bit. Okay, cable's a little tight. Well, that's good. All right, now for the moment of truth. Here we are, middle ring, little cog. And there's no tink 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 and no flippity flappity and no shifty wifty. But we'll get her to go that way, won't we? Needs a little persuasion here. It actually looks bent. It's slow to shift down. doesn't really want to shift up either. Yeah, just all of it kind of sucks, but it's better. At least I don't have the tinky tink, and I won't run the risk of having that chain sucks situation that we saw. Yeah, you kind of have to work on it, but much less risk of this free bike breaking and coming back to me for free service. See, that's the thing, is people that get free bikes don't have the money for service. And it's like, I want to give you a bike, but I don't want to be responsible for maintaining it for free too. But in a town this small, I'm the only option, so I have to be careful. I could just give it to Free Bikes for Kids and get given away somewhere else. Anyway, yeah, that's how nice of a guy I am. Okay, well, there you have it. Like, pretty much everything on this bike is wrong. You know, wrong wheel, 7-speed, 8-speed, 2 different brake thingies going on here, 2 different levers, brake levers, loose reflector. But, you know, for cheap, reliable, somewhat decent, durable transportation, this bike is just fine. It's accessing all the gears, like I said. I don't think we're gonna like have any catastrophic failures with that drivetrain. You know, should outlive it. You know, the drivetrain is a little sloppy, but I don't think it's gonna like blow to pieces or anything like that. It's better than a Huffy. I mean, I got all kinds of great things I can say about this bike. The one thing I could never do is charge anybody money to do what I just did, or after the fact. I would never feel comfortable selling a bike like this. I mean, that's not true. I've done this to some bikes and just called them $100 and charged $100, you know, take them as is. I don't think that's unfair. But now that I'm making these videos and getting paid to make the videos, I don't know why I couldn't just do this to some bikes and give them away. So that's kind of what this video was about today. And yeah, it's kind of fun to get the torch out and get the Wilton involved and get that bottom bracket out of there. You can see it's, you know, if you have the right tools and the right frame of mind, you can get stuff unstuck pretty easily. Sometimes that can be a real nightmare and just ruin a day. It did not in this case. So thank you so much for watching till the end. I presume that if you have watched till the end, that you like what you've seen here. Let us know. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That's absolutely free. Doesn't cost you a darn thing. If you do have a little extra to give and want to support me directly, you can click the heart with the $sign in the middle of it. That's the super thanks button. That's money directly to me. Well, I guess YouTube takes a little bit of a cut, but it's taco money straight into my account. Happens once a month. I love it. I get full and fat on tacos, and there's really nothing better than that. And if you don't want to do that every time you watch a video, if you're really into the bike farmer stuff, consider becoming a monthly sustaining member by joining the channel right here in YouTube. You don't have to go to Patreon. You don't have to do anything else. You can just be part of it right here. But for yourself, be sure you click that notification bell so you and your bikes can stay tuned.